So Jack, you've just come into the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Man, looks pretty nice in here.
Very nice.
Tell us a little bit about the menu and what's offered.
Well, we have a lot of healthy choices here. We have wraps, we have salads, we have nice protein selections, you know, chicken, pork. We do have some steak as well. And we do have options for people who want to splurge a little bit, and that's important too. You can't live by bread and water alone, so we have that here. And really, I think tying it all together, this is one part of a larger vision that we have. And what we've learned really over the last 10 or 15 years in my field, which is healthcare, is that yes, biomedical indicators of how people get healthy are important. Blood pressure, cholesterol levels, those things are also important. But of equal value is the social science indicators, which means how we interact with others and how the process of, or how we respond to life and how we feel about the way we feel. Those are every bit as important. And they do coincide and they do affect one another. And one of the things I think is most exciting that we do very well here is diets vary around the world, and as much as we want to say this is the most appropriate diet for the human race, I don't know that can be done, but one of the things that's neat that they've learned through studies are in places around the world where people are living long periods of time, and not just living long, but having a really, really good quality of life. There's a lot of life to year, so to speak. There's strong social structures. There's extended family. That old adage, it takes a village to raise a child, is put into practice daily. And unfortunately, in our country, we're kind of moving away from that to our detriment. So it is true, we want to have a lot of years of life, but it's also important to have life to those years. And that's what you can certainly do here. That's what you can do in all of our exercise classes. Our whole center is based on that principle. And that comes largely through socialization and having fun activities as well.
So what type of social activities go on here within the Franciscan and either in the multipurpose room or
Sure.
here in the restaurant? Give me some
have
examples.
Eight total dimensions of wellness that we use in the Vital Life concept. But obviously this would be in the restaurant, would be a nutritional, and we're using our social aspect tremendously. Those go hand in hand. We've talked about that. You can have spiritual, our faith community meets in our multi-purpose room. They do meet here to eat as well. Again, what better place to meet and eat? You know, why waste a meeting without good food? And then our physical dimensions, all of our classes that we have that are tied together with, we have meditation classes, we have drumming classes, we have dance classes, which are physical, social. They're all tied together. And really, almost all of our classes have some or all of the 8 dimensions of wellness in one. And there are very few classes that don't have all of the 8 dimensions, because that's what holism means, that in the part is the wholeness of the principle. That's what we're doing here. So that's kind of what you can see anywhere here, are the 8 dimensions of wellness. No matter where you go, the part represents the whole. You can find all of the dimensions of wellness in all of our facilities, even the pool area as well. So.
And I noticed St. Leonard's campus is quite spread out. You know, there are independent cottages, there's independent living, assisted living, etc. In the center core area, and then the Franciscans at one side, and then there's this new facility being built just shortly to open on the other side of the campus. Do you see a lot of people out and about?
Sure, obviously seasonally dependent, but for those residents who have that level of functioning, that's nice for them. And one of the really, really neat things that we have in place is our social walking program, where we have mapped out for them basically all the routes on campus. And what that means is our residents know if they walk from, for example, from the main building to the Franciscan Center, that's a certain number of steps, which translates into miles. We collect that data and we put it into a database, and then they get to see where they are. So what we've done is we have from St. Leonard, we're walking to Disneyland in California, and then at the end of the month they say, hey, I've walked, you know, whatever, 40 miles, 100 miles, and then we post for them where they are. So they could be starting from St. Leonard, they could be in Illinois at the end of the month. And then the next month they're somewhere in Missouri. Then they're in Kansas, and then they're gone. And that's a real practical way to get people involved. And, it's one thing to say, well, I think I want to go walk. I think I'm going to go here. Or, it's another to make that real and tangible for people. And I think we do a really, really good job of that. And I think that's what Vital Life does, is makes wellness, which can be fairly intangible and subjective, and that's important, but it creates some reality for our members there. It also creates some objectivity. And when you have objectivity and subjectivity together, it's pretty awesome, and we have all that.
It looks like you also add the dimension of fun to the activities as well.
Yeah, you have to.
So that's the social action.
Sure.
To bring it all together and to get people actually into doing it.
Sure. And if we've learned anything from exercise science over the last 50 years, we've learned this: if it's not fun, people will not do it.
Right.
And they will not do it, more importantly, over an extended period of time. Anyone can sign up for a gym membership in January, and this is the time of year where they'll do it. By February or March, no one will be there. Or 5% of the population will be there. And those are those weird people that actually will work out in the gym 3 times a week for the whole year. But if you don't make it fun, what we're calling now exercise in disguise or stealth health, there is no consistency. And everyone knows this somewhere deep down inside. If we're not consistent, we're not effective. But we struggle to, golly, I just don't want to go get on that treadmill. How many times can you go on a treadmill? But what we have is, would you like to come to ballroom dancing? Would you like to come to martial arts? Would you like to do Tai Chi? We have not just one type of Tai Chi, we have 3 Tai Chis. We have multiple martial arts. We have multiple dance classes. And just very quick story, my wife and I take one of the classes, and it's ballroom dancing, what we call sock hop jive. This is a great example. We have 4 children. We're very busy. Obviously, we have a lot going on. She works, I work. We're kind of a typical American family. We've taken that class for about 7 months now. We may have missed 3 classes, maybe. Now, if I said, hey, Julie, let's go walk, or let's go work out in the gym together, I can assure you one of us would find an excuse not to go. And so why? Because there's tremendous value. It's super fun. Very often for us, that's the only hour in the week we have alone together. So what's the percentage? I don't know the math, I'm sorry, but if you take all the classes in a 7-month period, and we've missed 2, I think, maybe 3, that will demonstrate the value of Vital Life in application. That's why it's so important. So and we have tons of those classes.
Great. Thanks very much, Jack.
Yeah, thank you.